Hey, welcome to another episode of Empowering Your Immunity. This one is my personal favorite because it's something that I have used many times throughout my life, and that is lemon and garlic. Because as I mentioned in the other little episode about getting sleep, sometimes and oftentimes we live in a culture where being able to just call in from work or school immediately and get all the rest we need is a lot more difficult. It's a lot more easier said than done, of course. So as somebody who has worked with kids in organizations that are short-staffed, and it's, again, you can't just call out easily. Sometimes you feel your sore throat and your headaches start to set in, but you need another way to get rid of whatever it is in your system because you don't have the option to call it. Anyways, lemon and garlic has saved me. I discovered that for anything that was more viral in nature, like a virus, lemons and just vitamin C helped tremendously. The most potent and most helpful thing I found is that first thing in the morning when your system is completely clear and fresh and it doesn't have to compete with anything in your digestive system, is to do hot lemon water. Like get a cup of tea, just like you're gonna do hot tea with the water, and then put as much lemon juice, like fresh squeezed lemon juice, as you can possibly tolerate in there. And it's gonna be strong, not honey and lemon. I mean straight up just hot lemon water. Drink that as soon as you can, and do it as many times throughout the day as you can without hurting your throat, because I have weak tonsils, so I do have to be careful about making sure I don't overdo the lemons and the astringency, because that can sometimes even make it worse. But in terms of actually getting rid of whatever virus is in your system, and I've gotten rid of stomach bugs this way, like when you've gotten food poisoning and seriously nothing is settling in your stomach, you can barely get a couple bites of saltines in, hot lemon water was the only thing I would force myself to take sips of. Next thing you know, I was on a recovery path, it blew my mind. Like otherwise it was the type of like stomach flus where I was pretty sure I would have had to call it for a while. But again, anything viral, if you catch it early enough, you do the hot lemon water, or if you can't stomach that, then at least maybe just bombard your system with vitamin C, because I've also been in situations, especially traveling, where fresh hot lemon water isn't always easy to come by. So I'll just get those emergency packets and do like 2 of them a day. Obviously you have to consult with whoever you need to consult with, like healthcare wise, to make sure that's safe for you. But personally, bombarding my system with vitamin C as early as I possibly can, especially if I can't get enough rest, is one of the best things I can do for anything virus related. It also helps with the more bacterial infections, the stuff you usually need antibiotics for, like think ear infections, sinus infections. Those are often caused more by bacteria or more bacteria related than they are virus related, which is why if you have a really bad ear infection for long enough, or a really bad sinus infection for long enough, oftentimes you go to the doctor and they give you antibiotics. Well, the best natural antibiotic that I've ever found, and has honestly worked better for me than some prescription antibiotics, is raw garlic. It's another one of those things where you have to woo-saw your way through the process of diligently taking the raw garlic, in other words, eating the raw garlic. But if you can do it, and again, you catch it early enough, whatever the symptoms are, catch it early enough, start eating raw garlic the same way you would take an antibiotic, 2 times a day at the same time, 3 times a day at the same time with food. Definitely do it with food, because raw garlic, when you chew and eat raw garlic and send that down your digestive system, it can hurt if you don't have some food in your system. Personally, and strangely, this is my intuitive eating experience, I always crave Activia yogurt when I'm doing my raw garlic regimen. Maybe there's something about wanting the extra good bacteria in my gut at the same time, so I'll eat an Activia. I will slice up a medium-sized clove of raw garlic. I chew it so it kind of permeates throughout my sinuses until I can't tolerate chewing it anymore, and then I'll finally wash it down with like some chocolate almond milk or something else that'll help it get down a little bit easier and coat it. And yeah, I immediately, especially if there's congestion involved, it immediately starts to clear up congestion. And that's another thing, is like the raw garlic, I've had straight up ear infections before where I'm not only eating the raw garlic, but my ear's in so much pain and I want more localized relief. I will peel and chop up a little ear-sized piece. Of course, be very careful about getting it in and out safely. But I'll put a little piece of raw garlic, no joke, inside of, like, right on the edges of my ears. So all of the garlic little particles can kind of permeate my ear and the infection that's in my ear. And it looks a little silly because sometimes I'll tie a bandana around so it stays in place, and it definitely smells strong, but I kid you not, I am able to break down the infection sometimes immediately, depending on how bad it is. Like between eating the garlic and putting it in my ears, or even like, this again is strange, but I kid you not, I wouldn't do it if it didn't work so well, is you again take like the little piece of the raw garlic clove and put it in your nostrils if you're super congested, and then I do my best to just pull air in gently through my nostrils so it has a chance to again permeate all of my sinuses and wherever that bacteria and that infection is in my head. And then it usually happens to where, like, within a couple of minutes I end up sneezing profusely, but it broke everything up, and so now everything's finally getting a chance to like break up and process out and drain, and you're not congested anymore. And we've all been congested to the point we know how blissful that feeling is. And raw garlic can do wonders in getting you there. Again, just like with the lemon thing, consult with whatever healthcare professional you need to make sure this can be a safe option for you, or especially if you want to try using it with kids, definitely be extra careful. Personally, again, if I catch things early enough, I have found lemon and garlic to be two of the best things I could ever possibly use. Another little speculation on garlic, like this one I don't have as much evidence for in terms of like immediate results, but a few years ago I was volunteering in a hospital, and when you volunteer in a hospital they make you get a TB test, a tuberculosis test. And it came back to where I actually supposedly do have inactive tuberculosis. And TB has run in my family. My brother and his daughter had both had inactive TB, and they had to take months and months and months worth of this specialized antibiotic to get rid of the inactive TB in their system. And it's something that, like, I just was gonna watch it closely because that's what they said. They're like, you don't have to go on this antibiotic regimen, but we need to at least watch it closely if you ever get sick. And obviously if your chest and your lungs start to have a worser cough than usual, we need to get x-ray because it might turn into active TB, and we all know how terrible active TB can be. I had a biological grandfather that died from it. So anyways, I, was okay, I'll monitor it as close as I can. I did a lot of research and was like, I'll just keep close track of it. And then about a year or so after that, I went and I had done a really intense antibiotic garlic regimen because I was sick with some type of sinus infection that was pretty bad. So I was doing the garlic for probably over a month because it was a really bad infection. And then fast forward maybe 6 months from then, I had to get another TB test for another volunteer position that I was about to do. And it came back negative. My inactive TB completely went away, apparently, according to the TB test. I don't know exactly like how false positives and false negatives work in the TB test world, but I was shocked to have gone from having inactive TB, supposedly the only thing that would have remedied it was months and months worth of this intense antibiotic, to all of a sudden not having any signs of TB in my system whatsoever. So again, the only thing I could possibly trace it back to would have been that garlic regimen. This again is much more speculative than the other anecdotes I've told you about with the lemon and the garlic, but at the same time, if the garlic is like that intense garlic regimen is what got me from having to worry about tuberculosis in the future, that's even better. So again, take it as you will, but that was my experience. Peace and love, and I hope you keep your immune system strong. Bye.